building the business turns you into a different kind of human being.
Realize that failure is a part of the journey.
I think there's hope out there for all of us.
They say procrastination be the assassination of destinations. That's why we out here grinding with no association with haters and them other crabs trying to put us down. Pest badges in the house, boy, don't clown. Just keep your eyes on the prize, ain't no giving up. You can do whatever you dream of. Just keep your eyes on the prize, ain't no giving up.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Pest Control Millionaire. Today's going to be a fun one. We've been working on this for a couple weeks. Not all the time do I get to interview and chat with my own guys on the pod, but it's cool. I released 2 videos on YouTube, 2-3 weeks ago on acquisition that we did. And I figured, well, since we went through those, might as well hear it right from the guys themselves who actually were living it every single day with me. So I get to welcome Sully and Ben to the show, and some of my own guys, which is really cool. You know, like, and you guys have been with me for a couple of years now. Ben, it's been 3 years.
Maybe 4 or 5, I think now.
Dang. So how long you been here?
A year less than Ben, so 4 summers.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the show, guys. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
We
Appreciate
had
it.
some technical difficulties earlier. So if this podcast doesn't drop on Tuesday to everyone that's listening, I'm sorry that I missed the first week ever. Had a podcast scheduled yesterday, fell through, and then today we've been working on this all day, trying to get my whatever was going on fixed, but we're fixed. We're back in live. So, guys, welcome back to the show. The branch has been wildly successful almost since day one. Had a lot of hiccups from the very beginning, like I talked about on the YouTube channel. But real quick, Ben, why don't you just kind of tell everyone, we'll start with Ben. Why don't you just kind of tell everyone how you got here and how Sully got here when he showed up. He was in I think you were in a cast, weren't you? On the first day ever?
Yeah, he's got a funny story too. Yeah,
Awesome.
so
Ben, you can rip first.
sounds good. Yeah, so I met Pest Badger at a career fair as a freshman in college. I had to go to the career fair because my I think one of the classes I was taking forced me to. So walking around with some buddies, met James, and then I think you were there too, Jonas, or
Yeah.
Chandler too. Yeah, so then wrote me down, talked to him for a little bit, and then we set up an interview that night, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And then had a great conversation for that. James called me a week later. We ended up working out, and then I worked for you guys in Appleton. That was like the first year as like a big sales team, right, in Appleton? Yep. So that was my first summer. It went okay. Wasn't great, honestly.
Wait,
as like a sales guy.
I gotta tell everyone the story. Okay, so you guys know Ben is like the most quiet, reserved kid ever.
I was, for sure.
Would never picture him in the door. Super shy kid. Like, I even told everyone after the first summer, like, if I was guessing, I'd probably say maybe put on 75 to 100 counts. What was it actually? Do you remember?
I think it was only like 55.
Okay. So imagine this. You get knocked doors all year long. You only sold 55 accounts. And I told everyone that summer, like, there is 0 chance Ben comes back. 0. And then that second year you came back, and you came back a whole different person.
Yeah, it worked out. So they ended up opening up a location right in where I was going to school, and then ended up just worked out because I was going to school. I only had classes like half the time, and then just wanted to try knocking doors again since like I had extra time, and then right off the bat I just started making sales like crazy, and then it was like such a new thing to me because I grinded so hard in Appleton to make like the few sales that I did, and then it just came like second nature the second year. So that was awesome. So
what happened on the off season that made you so much more confident come back the second year? Obviously, there's a huge learning curve first year, right? Massive.
Yeah.
Both you guys know that. There's a lot to learn. What happened in that off season? I know you had talked to some guys on the team and came back again. I think you started lifting, but talk us through that.
Yep. So I mean, the biggest thing that kept me around the first year is just how much fun we had. So like we just had such a like great team, and we just were joking around the whole time. So I just like made a lot of friends. Yep. The following year, like I just like hung out at the house when they were selling, when I was still going to school. And then I would say like the big thing that helped me is like knocking doors the first year definitely helps with your social skills. Like I was a very like you said, like a very conservative guy coming out of high school. that helped the first year. And then I went to school in Montana for a semester where I didn't know anyone. That helped me get out of my shell a little bit too, just like having to make all new friends and all that good stuff. And then coming back, the following year I did some more training, and then I think it's just like, there's no more learning curve. I already knew what I had to do at the beginning.
When did you had your 55 accounts passed in it was like 2 weeks or a week and a half or something? Wasn't it crazy fast?
Yes, it was crazy. Yeah, I remember going. I was
like the first 2 or 3 weeks you did in the whole season of the first year.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. I was just waiting for. I think I had like the first week that I was full time once school got over with. I think I had like 30 accounts, which was crazy for me. Yeah, so I just kept thinking that like something was gonna happen, or I was just gonna go back to how I was making sales the first year. I thought something was. I was just on a high for whatever reason, and at some point it was gonna stop. So I had to keep riding it as long as I could.
That's awesome. All right, we'll jump over to Sully. We'll come back to you. Sully,
Sounds good.
Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sitting in your Raptor out in Minnesota somewhere.
Yep.
Where you're at, Iowa, Minnesota, somewhere out there on the west side.
Just on the side of 94 here in Minnesota. But yeah, so I got introduced to Pest Badger through Ben and James through like an ice fishing trip that winter. I didn't know Ben and I didn't know James. Or I mean, obviously I knew Ben, but I didn't know James and Chandler at all. And throughout like the ice fishing trip, James kept like telling me about this door-to-door pest control thing that Ben had been doing, and how Ben was going to make a ton of money. And I was landscaping for my dad at that point. So I kind of just brushed it off. I was like, telling him maybe, but most like in my head, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And then fast forward to the springtime, I tore my ACL playing flag football, and obviously landscaping was out of the picture for me because I was in like a full leg brace cast thing for a lot of the summer. So I called Ben up and I was like, hey, is the opportunity still up like for grabs? And so after they cleared me to walk on my knee, within a week I was out there. And by the time I got there was already a big team of guys going. There's probably like 10 people. You were there the first day I ever worked, was at that team barbecue. And so after that we moved. When Ben opened up his location, I went down to La Crosse and managed that team for my second summer. And then summer number 3 came, and that's when we moved over to Minnesota.
Yeah, pretty wild how that all happened. Like, again, it took craziest things for the stars to align, right? Like, you had no intentions of coming to work here, tore your ACL, and then you go to work for dad. Your dad runs a successful landscape company, and you're like, oh, no, I can't do landscaping. So you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to go back to talk about this door-to-door thing. And then now you are here running a really successful branch for us. So just crazy how the stars like had to align, right? And then we were all out in we'll get back to Ben's story in a little bit, but we'll fast forward a little bit to Arizona of last year. So we talked about this on my YouTube channel about how we were all just we had our owners meeting out there. We rented cars. We had a good time out there. Got a big Airbnb we could all stay at. And a lot of things happen. We just get a lot of breakthroughs, we work through a lot of challenges, going through what next year is going to look like, some changes that we're going to make. And Sully, your dad has storage units, obviously. And you brought up to me, you're like, hey, my dad said there's this pest control company that's for sale. And so I just started asking you some questions, and you're like, tell me how big they were. I'm like, I just don't know. It's kind of small. Like, it's not super interested. I don't know if you guys, I clearly remember like where we were sitting at the table and everything. I was like, I don't really know. And I brought up to Brian, and Brian's like, it's kind of small. I don't really want to tinker with it. And then I sat there and thought about it more, and we talked about it a little bit more. I'm like, well, you know what? Why don't we just at least look at it? Because maybe we can learn something. So I think like 2 weeks later, 2.5 weeks later, actually, we ended up closing on the thing. And working through that process with the owner, we noticed a lot of really, word this carefully, not some great things that were going on, but also there was a pile of customers we weren't expecting either. Between all of us, we were like, oh, it's probably got a couple hundred customers. They had like 7 trucks or 6 vans. Like, why in the hell do they have so many trucks? And so I broke down the P&L and looked at the COGS, and their COGS are like 60%. Like, what in the heck is going on here? So I started asking some questions with Tyler, and I was asking him, the guy that we bought it from, and he's telling me how they ran their operation, a couple of people per truck, how many stops a day they're doing. They had like 8 to 10 stops per day. They weren't charging very much money, but there was like 800 and some plus customers. I was like, dang. Like I told Brian, and I told you guys, like, I actually we're sitting in a gold mine here. And so, Brian ended up working the deal. I always say that don't negotiate on your own behalf. Have someone negotiate for you, because they'll negotiate better because it's not their money, right? Where I'm just like, oh, whatever, sounds good. Well, then negotiate on your behalf, and Brian did a great job of working out that deal. And fast forward to 2026, that guy was running a construction company, had a lot of things going on. I think that he was just kind of taking money out of a pest control company to feed into this construction company that's doing like a couple, like $3 or $5 million a year. And I was like, after talking to him on the phone, I was like, man, that thing sounds pretty messy too. Like, I think I told you guys that, like, it just doesn't sound good. Like something, there's a lot of things that are off in my brain. So I just didn't think he had bought the company from someone else. It was like a marketing, right? You guys said he was like a marketing professor. Didn't you guys say that?
The guy who started it, yeah, he had done marketing for a long time for Fortune 500 company. I don't remember which one exactly. But he ended up retiring with his full benefits, and he was basically just bored. And so this seemed like an easy enough business to get into. And
yeah, and like I said from the very beginning, like, I think that he had a great brand. I think what they were doing is really cool. The company was Mosquito Crush. They had the orange vans wrapped like the Orange Crush. Every time they get a new customer, they put like a 6-pack of Crush, like Orange Crush, on the doorstep. I thought the whole concept was really cool. Hold up, quick pause. If you're on a pest control company or fertilization weed control company, you're not in our Facebook group, you're choosing the harder path. Every operator that's in there is skipping years of mistakes because people are actually sharing what's working right now. So stop trying to brute force your way through growth alone. Search Pest Control Millionaires on Facebook or click the link below. And now let's get back to it. So anyway, Tyler ended up buying it from this guy. And then Tyler just never ran a service-based business before. So I don't think that he knew exactly what he was doing. Nothing against himself. He had a couple companies going on. But anyway, fast forward to 2026, that company ended up going bankrupt. So then everything just kind of happened for the right reason. We had helped him out, got him out of some of his own debt. And it ended up working out in our favor. Like, I went through the whole series on my YouTube channel of just how it went from like overnight. Like, as you guys know, like, we had to pull all the data by hand, enter all into our system. And there was a lot of work that went into the background just to get it from his software into our software, because they weren't transferred. And then I had to add in our packages in there. But it went from like 0 to, I should say 0, because it said like 300,000. I think there's like 320,000 they were doing revenue. To like $800,000. We're all like, holy man.
Yeah,
This is
I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Like literally, I'd say overnight, but it wasn't actually overnight. It's like a couple weeks before all the data put in there. But we're like, holy man, this is I shouldn't say way bigger than what we expected, because if you guys remember me talking, like, I think that we're going to fall right in this ballpark. I was like, I'm thinking between like 750 or 700,000 to 800,000, somewhere right in there. And then got rid, did some churn. Obviously, once we start up in the spring, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But it ended up being like $800,000 revenue that we got, we paid for a $300,000 company, which is really cool. So ended up being a really big win. But you guys were the ones out there having to live it every single day. And it was a heavy lift, right?
For sure.
You guys came from the door side to have to manage operations, right? You guys had to learn the operations real fast. I think the owner, Tyler, came to work with you guys like a day, maybe 2 days. I can't remember. And then he had
a few hours.
A few hours, right? But we pretty much knew what to do. You guys had seen the service before, been around for a couple of years. So you guys knew what to do. We had we had a lot of help from the office side to help you guys out too. So it's not like you guys were left out there to hang, but you kind of left out there to hang. You still got to figure it out on yourself. You guys have to be quick on your feet, right? I got to learn real fast. But yeah, so then they had like, I think they had like at one point they had like 12 or 15 guys, 6 trucks. It was like way overstaffed. Like, we don't need that, obviously. Trim the fat, come back the next year. Then I think they brought like what, 3 or 4 guys initially. Do you guys remember?
We had one kind of like a manager that came back from the following year, but she didn't start until like June. And then we had a guy that came from him that worked previously, but only worked for like a month. That was it.
Yeah. So basically they brought over some people, which, even the manager, she didn't stick around very long. Because again, we pretty much flipped the whole business. We turned the whole thing around real fast, right? Did everything different. And so to expect them to like come in here and like work the system that we want to work with, they're so used to doing it all the way. And then like the odds of them ever staying are very slim to none, in my opinion. I think even if you have a big team, you probably can lose half. Again, they're used to working with her, used to working with the owner. We just do things completely different. The best pest control companies do not leave growth a chance. They build systems. They have a system for generating leads, system for answering the phone, system for servicing the customer, and systems for collecting payments. But most companies still treat referrals like luck. They do a great job, hope the customer remembers to tell a friend, and maybe send an occasional text asking for a referral. That is not a system. Clicky Referrals turns your happiest customers into active, trackable sales channel for your business. Clicky automatically invites customers into your referral program, gives each person their own referral link, tracks the leads and sales they generate, and makes it easy to reward them when those referrals turn into business. And now, Clicky has launched Rewards Pass. Rewards Pass was a brand referral pass for your company directly inside your customer's Apple Wallet or Google Wallet. Think about that. Your brand can live on your customer's phone alongside their cards, tickets, and brands they already use every day. Their personal referral link is always one swipe away. You send push notifications, announce special offers, promote events, and stay connected long after the initial service is complete. This is not another app your customers have to download or another login they have to remember. It's your company, your referral program, and your rewards living directly inside their wallet. If you want more referrals, stronger customer retention, and a customer experience your competitors probably do not have yet, go to joinclicky.com/PCM, book a live demo of Rewards Pass to get $350 in payout credits. Tell them you heard about it on Pest Control Millionaires. That is joinclicky.com/PCM. Stop having your customers send referrals, build a system that makes it happen. What was it like in the trenches for you guys?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I came in with some operations understanding because I did, or I guess my location for like a year and a half. But obviously this was a big scale up from that. We had a great team, but it was much more slower. So you kind of learn as you go, as you grow. You just add a technician here and there. But with this, yeah. So we bought the company and we like closed on it. Was it like mid-April or end of April?
Yeah, I think so. It was like after we left Arizona, it was like 2.5, 3 weeks. We had that thing closed already.
Right. Yeah. So like, yeah, right when we bought it, was like, yeah, I remember we were talking to Tyler and he's like, yeah, we got customers you guys can service right now if you guys want. Like they're ready to go. So that was it was great. It was definitely great. But we had a sales team that we were trying to build up and keep going to at the same time. So want to make sure those jobs are still getting serviced on top of all these new mosquito contracts that we got to make sure are getting serviced. So I would say the biggest thing that I learned is just how to recruit and train, because obviously I did that, but yeah, much bigger scale here, and just like how quick we had to do it and run the sales team at the same time. So that was the biggest, I guess, tough thing for me for running both sides, just getting people going and training people from zero to like good to go, and we feel confident them being in a van on their own. So we had what do we have full time? I think we had like 6 or 7 techs last year, Sully, and yeah, we lucked out with some really good guys that really love to work, so that was super helpful.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you guys got lucky because you guys did a lot of recruiting. You guys went through a lot of people. We went through quite a few people that
we did.
But we went through some people, not say quite a few. We still got to go through some of the crap to find the really good ones too. And find those good ones, like, oh dang, they're a game changer,
Exactly. Yeah, and then especially with mosquito, it's so seasonal, where like it's a lot of younger people, and then the kids got sports and they got family trips, and then you just got like all this stuff to like schedule around and make sure that you're still keeping up with mosquitoes too. And then also that year was crazy for rain. For some reason, it was just like insane for rain. It was like, I swear, like rain for an entire week. So that was really tricky to get ahead of too. But customers are understanding on that side of things, but also with switching over to Pest Badger, it's just a big change.
Yeah, because again, they're used to seeing their orange trucks, and they're seeing pink trucks. They're seeing guys in pink. And I know you guys did like a lot of the first services. You went out there, talked to the customers yourself,
Yeah, that was cool.
which we had talked through a lot. Like, I think this is the best strategy going forward. Go introduce yourself as the owners, get the, build a lot of rapport with the customers. You guys did a great job the whole first round handling that. So again, another reason why that branch was so successful right off the rip too, so a lot of things that you guys did that we planned in the background, but you guys had to go pull off, but you guys did a great job. Like, what was it like coming from your perspective?
For me, it was very different because I obviously came in with like little to no servicing experience. I maybe serviced like 3 days ever as a sales guy. I've never even like hardly sprayed a house. So one of the things that I worked a lot on was like all the equipment and trying to like figure out all these trucks because there was not really a walkthrough like on how to use like any of the equipment. So basically just like unlock the truck and then, but like the water tanks and the wiring systems for the water pumps and all of these mosquito foggers, like
There was not a shortage in supply of mosquito fogger.
no, there's 18 total, I think.
There is mosquito foggers for days. Like, what the hell? Do they like? They spend a lot of money. They didn't need to.
Yeah. And so trying to like reverse engineer how these water tanks and pumps work. And we had a lot of struggles right away because I don't know if they weren't blown out or what, but basically had to replace all the pumps on the water tanks and swapped a lot of them out for gravity flow, which made our lives a lot easier because less stuff to break. But then we were able to luck out with a couple of really good technicians who were very mechanically handy. Preston and Andy helped us out a lot with when their mosquito foggers were down. They would just go in the shop on a rain day and just start working on them, tearing them apart, fixing them back up. And so that was like a huge help for us too, because I don't have that kind of background either.
Right. And so like the listeners have to remember, like, these guys, the customers were used to getting free like service whenever basically they wanted to. And we're like, nope, we're ripping off the Band-Aid. They're just gonna get service every 21 to 30 days. Just like, and we're just gonna roll it out. Whoever cancels, just kind of cancel. That's gonna be our customer anyway. And again, majority of them stuck around. You got better service. Like, there's a lot of things. They never had credit cards in files. So there's a lot of stuff that we had to do in the background to make this all work. And not saying that everything went perfect and that no one canceled, that we got everyone's credit card. I'm just saying, like, we did a very, very good job. And yes, it took a couple rounds to get everything dialed in. But again, like, now everything is just way more simplified, right? Like, you're not driving back and forth, and not every round is not completely different. Everything's just seamless throughout the entire thing for the most part. Again, hiccups. Like, I think of one. I got some really good things to talk about. Was it last year? I think it was last year. I posted on social media too, but the picture of when one of our vehicles rear-ended a semi. Like, all of a sudden, I get a picture. I think it was from Ben. His truck's total, like, wrecked with zero context behind it. Just a picture of the truck. I'm like, oh, waiting. Finally made it. But it's not a matter of if, right? It's just a matter of when you have that many trucks on the road, people are still going to be people. Yes, it was our fault. Yes, they were watching, like, I think texting and driving, or maybe they're looking at their maps. I'm not sure. Rear-ended a semi, and the guy said, rear-ended the back end of the trailer of the semi. And then the guy claimed that he got hurt. But besides the point, there's things like that we can't control. People are still be people. But walk me through that day.
Ooh, we were selling with the sales team that day, and then I just get a call from the technician, and I think it just happened. So he sounded rough, obviously, right off the bat, and I already knew something was happening right when he says, like, hey, Ben. And I was just like, hey, like, don't worry about it. After you explained everything, I was like, hey, just focus on getting better. Like, we'll deal with everything on the back end. Like, don't worry about it. Let's just make sure that you're okay. So and then he handed the phone over to a police guy, and then I just talked to him. But definitely definitely crazy. That was the first experience I've had with like a big crash, and I'm sure Sully too. But yeah, it's just like, what do you do? Like we had already went through so much that spring, just like so much stress with making sure everything's just like we're trying to keep on top of like getting the mosquitoes done as quick as possible, and just like everything else with people dropping off and adding new people and all that stuff. It's just like constant stress. It's like, okay, what else can happen this year? Like it's everything that can happen is gonna happen this year. So it wasn't even a huge surprise. Like with that many vehicles on the road, something's gonna happen at some point. But we were just happy that he was okay and no really injuries whatsoever, which was crazy and super
hard to believe that he came out with like almost nothing wrong, not a scratch.
Yeah.
Extremely lucky.
Super lucky. Yeah, that truck was crazy. But yeah, so that was a blessing there. But yeah, you just got to move on and go to the next thing. Otherwise, I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah, and it's like we were down a truck for very long. I think within like a week or a couple of days, we already had a new truck bought, rewrapped, and sent back. So we weren't down for very long. We got extra vehicles. That's just kind of nice when you get to a point where it's like, if you only have one truck and that's all you have, and you go wreck your truck, then it's a problem. Like we're past that point. We can get a truck within a couple of days, get it wrapped, get servicing again. So it's nice to be on that point. Sully, what was it like coming from your standpoint?
Yeah, I had just dropped off our sales guys, like not the people who were riding with me. And so Ben was the one who told me, and obviously I had a bunch of questions and neither of us really knew the answers to it right away. We were just like, we didn't get a picture of the truck. Like the picture of the truck that got sent to you is from like after they towed it off the scene. And so I was like trying to track down, I called the sales guys and kind of let them know they were going to be riding with someone else. I drove to the scene. It was all cleaned up by the time I got there. And so then I was chasing the truck all around because they were towing it to different places. And by the time I got it, that picture I sent you, they wouldn't let me see it. And so I like climbed up on the fence with my phone and took that picture like over the fence because it's all like blocked off. I didn't have the title or whatever on me. But yeah, that was immediately like a little tough because we had picked out that truck and we just got it wrapped, all set up. It was perfect.
You had the topper put on, you had the tube put on the top, like everything was set, ready to go. The side, like everything was set up, ready to go, and then all of a sudden you had it not very long. Like how long did you have this for?
Less than a month.
Yeah, less than a month.
Yeah, and so then after that happened, I think I called you and you were just like, I mean, just go buy another vehicle. Like we'll figure it out with the insurance, but it was definitely totaled. So within the next 2 days, we had a Tacoma again, and it was out servicing. Before we even got it wrapped, it was just go.
Yeah, I've been through so many of these things. Like it's just again, I don't skip a beat. Like, and that's why I teach you guys talk to you guys a lot about this things. It's like it's like things happen. Every single day. Like you guys said, you guys went through your entire first year. So much stuff happened, and it's been that way for 17 years of my life. So it's like okay, it just happened again. And you guys will just already have. They just learn to solve problems super fast. It's like okay, well, yes, thank God everyone's okay. It's the first thing we're gonna address. Make sure everyone's okay. And after there, it's like, okay, now we got to solve this problem. We need a truck ASAP. What can we do to solve it? So you guys just have to focus on it. You guys did a great job. Yes, talked you through a lot of those things, but again, you guys did the majority of this stuff on your own, which is cool. What was a big takeaway from that first year for both of you guys? Sully, you can go first.
I would say one big change that me and Ben made was overhiring and just expecting that there was so many people that we hired, they worked a day and there was just like, yeah, this isn't for me. And so making sure that we had the staff hired, both on the sales and the service side, and just expected that people are going to drop off right away. And once they make it a week, almost all of them stay around. And so that really helped me and Ben out this year because it allowed us to not be in the field servicing as much, and we could focus more on the things that were important, like keeping the sales team going and making sure everything is like moving smoothly on the operations side. That would have been really hard if me and Ben were still servicing houses do that at the same time.
For sure. Ben, what's the big takeaway from year one for you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say a big thing, mainly on the recruiting side of things too, is just really taking your time, especially on the technician side of things, is like making sure that's the right fit. Because obviously, after you make the sale, the technician is really the only point of contact in person with that customer going forward. So they're so important on that side of things for retention, and then also, um, yeah, just keeping the customer happy, and then also just like making my life easier. If I get the right technician to start, then it's just like makes that summer so much easier rather than to have to, if they fall off or you end up having to let them go halfway through the summer, then you gotta train someone up, and usually it takes 1 to 2 weeks, maybe more if you need more time, and then that's a truck down too. So it's got to really make sure you're making those hires smartly.
Which we don't have to talk about for too long, but Ben, your role has obviously changed over the last few years, right?
Yeah,
You're
for sure.
basically become a full-time recruiter for Pest Badger. This is pretty much your life as recruiting. You guys would have told me that, again, that one, Ben is going to stay here past year one. I'd have said no. And then tell me he's be one of the best recruiters in the company. I'd tell you, yeah, you're lying. You can recruit. I don't know why, but you're fantastic at it. You do a great job, and I appreciate all that you do for us at Pest Badger. So year one was chaos, right? A lot of great things that happen, some bad things that happen. That's just business in general. I think they said like 10% of each month is that you're gonna have bad days. So if 30 days, you're gonna have 2 to 3 bad days. That's not terrible, but it happens, right? But it was a massive upswing. Like you guys knocked it out of the park, which brings us to year two, almost end of year one. I think you guys brought in a couple of sales guys at the end of last year that really, really started to change the business over there as a whole. And so then they found some young guys that were hungry. They went off in the winter. They did some things. One, I think, placed third or fourth in the state, Minnesota wrestling. Sully was a wrestler. And then another guy went and did insurance down in Florida. And he's like, oh, I hate this. I really want to get back on the pest control game. Came back and brings us back to year two. And you guys started off swinging.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a really small team, but they absolutely crushed it right off the bat. We hired, I think it was a big team that we hired, like probably 20-25 guys to start, like once it came end of May, early June for sales team. But obviously, like Sully said, just make sure you overhire because you never know what's going to happen.
I always say that, like if you hire 50 people, half of them aren't going to show up and they're half going to quit by the end of summer. That's just the averages. Do we want to be better than the averages? Of course, but that's just rule of thumb.
For sure.
Like you're getting your face kicked in every single day, but then you find those few guys that show what's possible, right? And they can turn the whole team around.
Absolutely. Yeah, so they kind of set the tone like at the beginning of the year, and we've just kept that. They've just kept that going throughout the entire year going forward. So, yeah, we were crushing it with the small team, and then once all the college guys and like high school guys ended up coming in, starting full time with us, we just really hit the ground running in June and had a crazy June, and we've continued that through the rest of the summer.
Crazy July. I'm sure you have a crazy August.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
exactly.
It's been a great thing altogether. What's we talk about this real quick because it seems like everyone just talks about great things that happen in life. So we'll talk about some bad shit too, right? And so this year we had a guy that I think is a great learning experience for both of you. We had a long conversation about this that night after the fact, but you guys had to let someone go, and it was not in person. It was, I think it was via text message.
Well, I tried to call him, but he didn't answer.
Yeah, tell us the story.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so he had just been a little bit of like an issue with starting a little bit later than expected, and had some customer complaints and just like a whole bunch of stuff that just ended up being like, okay, we got to make a decision to let this guy go. And like the biggest learning experience for me is just make sure that when you make these decisions as far as letting someone go, it's got to be unemotional, and you got to make sure that you do it the right way, obviously. So there was just like one last straw. I was like, okay, I can't have this guy servicing any more jobs going forward. So tried calling him twice, didn't answer, and then I just I just sent him like a message. It was not like I didn't go off on him or at all. I was just like, hey, this isn't working. Please leave the van at the shop at the end of the night or something like that. And that didn't happen. So he didn't see my text. I don't know exactly. I could pull it back up, but basically he responded. He was like, I think he called me back later. He was like all upset, and then he's like, and then he agreed with me. He was like, yeah, I'll just leave the van at the shop. And then I had a bunch going on like the next day. Wasn't really thinking about it whatsoever. I was like, okay, I'm just like, he's out of my mind. Don't have to think about him anymore. It's just like a huge stressor just off my shoulders. And then
was there GPS in that van at that time, in that van, or no?
No, that was like our worst van. So like, yeah, but we got to have it in all our vans going forward. That's why we did that after that. But and then I think I talked to Sully, and then the following day, like I asked him, he was like, hey, I just like thought about it. I was like, hey, is that van at the shop? And he's like, no, I didn't see it. I was like, yikes. And then he, like an hour after that, he texted me like a location of where it was, and basically F you to us, and texted us the location where the van was. I look at the location, it was right outside Omaha, Nebraska, which is like a 7-hour drive from us. So basically I don't know what happened or where he went after that. I know he was from Texas, and I don't know if he was trying to drive all the way down there and realized we were gonna, I don't know, like send the police after him if he took it any farther. But yeah.
So, but then what did he say? Like something was wrong with the van, right? He's what he said.
Yeah, he said the alternator. Like he said something about he's gonna leave it here. The mechanic says the alternator. Good luck.
And what did it end up being? It wasn't an alternator, something super easy, right?
No, there's nothing. Yeah, I don't even think there was anything wrong with it.
I think he was just we put on.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sully. What were you gonna say?
And then he destroyed everything inside the van as one more middle finger to us. Like
You put it inside, put it on a flatbed, and got it sent back. That's just what we did. And again, I think it was a good learning lesson, right? Like, what did you guys learn from that? And I think a lot of the listeners, maybe they're just starting out too, in their business, or maybe they haven't had to fire anyone, or just have to let go of a technician. But I think it's just a good learning lesson for everyone that's listening, and probably a good learning lesson for you guys. But what was a big takeaway here that we talked about?
Yeah, obviously doing it the right way, making sure you do it in person.
Sure,
and then, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you think it's going to be one of those things that where you don't feel comfortable, it is okay just to call the cops and have them come wait there, right?
For sure.
Just have them come meet you there. Explain to the police what's happening, that you're going to let someone go. You just want someone there just in case. That way, when they get there, they want to freak out. The cops there to solve things. Like, it is so much easier this way. Then you could have, if you have any offboarding paperwork, if you want to get your shirts back, or whatever equipment you might have, but at least you had the van.
Right. For sure.
It was a good learning lesson, right? Like, one's perfect. You guys are learning as you guys go to. And something that we probably just hadn't talked about recently. And I can't be at all locations all the time. But again, good learning lesson. All of us owners or all partners all jumped on a call. We talked through it. This is what we're going to do going forward. This is what we have to do. Again, it was just it was hindsight 2020. It's just a good learning lesson. Do we ever want it to happen? Of course not. But do we learn something from it? And that's what we do. We take these opportunities to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Weird thing was he was like the most qualified guy I've ever hired too. So honestly, like we've had better experience with just people that haven't had experience with other companies yet, and we can just teach them exactly how we do things, and they have no bad habits too. So that's another thing.
You guys probably heard me say this a million times. I'd rather just hire someone that's not in the industry, that came from a different industry, or wants to try something new. We teach them exactly how we do things. They don't have bad habits. Maybe like they've been taught a different way that we don't necessarily agree with, and it's like from the rip, they just know day one, this is what we expect. This is how we roll forward, and we've just had really good success with those guys. Everyone that's listening, they've all been through this kind of stuff for the most part. Again, if we talked about highlight reels all day long, we could, but that doesn't give the listeners a lot of learning points, right? So went through a couple low spots like that. Again, it wasn't super low. Truck got back like a week later. Didn't miss it that much. It was a piece of crap anyway. But it was still a vehicle. Had to get it back with some equipment in it. And so overall, though, this year has been a massive win for you guys. I mean, you guys are ripping. Everything's going for the most part smooth. You guys have a really good team out there, from the sales team to operations. Everything is going good for the most part. So what's been some big takeaways from this year?
I'll just start with the sales team. Like, yeah, our two main guys, they absolutely set the standard for how what it takes to be successful on the door-to-door side of things. Like, they are absolute grinders. Like, both of them will work 7 days a week, which is insane. We don't ask that of them, but they do it. And yeah, they love it. They and every single person that started, like, obviously they're super young, so everyone that starts, they're like, wow, if they can do it, like, at least I can do at least half of what they do.
Yeah, and everyone's like, let me hear their pitch. Their pitch has got to be so good. It's like,
Exactly.
it's not about the pitch. It's not about what you say. It's how you say it, right? And when someone throws up the first objection, you don't just walk away. You stay in the pocket a little bit longer, and that's what they're really good at. And they put in the hour, put in the time, they put in the work, and more input, right? You get more output. And this is exactly what Ben says all the time. Like, they just
Absolutely.
work, and they set the tone for your branch, and they did. They did a great job.
Yeah.
I think changing our the times was a big help for me and Ben too. Ben, I don't know if you would say the same
Yeah.
thing, but
Knocking times, yeah, for sure.
like going from a 9 a.m. meeting to a 10:30 meeting, if it meant that everybody was going to stay out on the doors until dark and into dark every single day, that way it just gave our guys a little more time in the morning to
Hang out,
lift and
play the game, whatever. Yeah.
whatever they want to do. But they knew, like, in setting that tone early in the year with Bennett and Ian and Autumn, so that way when everybody, all the new,
Autumn too.
yeah, that way when all the new people came in, it just was, we already had the system started that was working really well for us, and the majority of our deals were coming in like an hour of the day that we hardly used last year, basically, like after like 7:30 p.m. And so that was a huge swing for us too, I feel like.
Yeah. How has it been servicing all these accounts?
I mean, way different. Another big tough thing to figure out, because I mean, we're coming into the year thinking that we're gonna do well, but I don't think we were expecting to crush it like we have, as much as, I mean, to the volume we have. So, like, we were expecting a lot, so we did hire a bunch, but I definitely had to hire a bunch more once it hit June.
And you have trucks getting shipped overnight, showing up at 9:30 at night.
We needed
ready to get them ready for a 10 a.m. start or 9 a.m. start, whatever the technicians start over there. Like, so they show up at 9 o'clock. Sully's got to go in there. He's got to put the trucks together, get tanks input. Like, there's a lot of work to do at that point. There's just a lot of moving parts. And so, like, most people, I think, that get into business underestimate how much effort it actually takes. Like, there is so much work that goes into this. It's not a 9-to-5 job. You're all in for us. It's like 9 months out of the year, and we still work in the off season, but it's obviously not a massive push like we guys do. But I think most people just underestimate how much money it's going to take, how much little money you'll make from the first few years. But long term, again, my mentor says it all the time. Like, if you guys bust your ass for 5 years, which, Ben, you've been through a branch already. We talked about that too.
Yep.
Bust your ass for 5 years, it'll change the next 50 years of your life. And you guys are living proof that you guys are doing it. So, like, yeah, you guys are busting ass. You're in the thick of it. It's the grind. It's hard. But you guys are still young. Ben, how old are you?
23.
Sully?
Me as well. Yep.
Yeah, so 23 years old. You guys will be 25 to 27 years old and pretty much be set for life, which is crazy to think, right? You guys are way further ahead than I had ever been at that point. So you guys are way further ahead than I am. You guys just got to learn from 17 years of dumb decisions that I made. So, but again, it's like, you guys are putting in the work. But there was, again, a lot to learn. and then you scale up the sales side. Now you have to go service all those accounts too, right? So again, you're like, you guys had a lot of trucks to begin with. Now you need more because you're just trying to keep up, which is a good problem.
Yeah, I'm most excited about just like having much more pest control than mosquito control in the going future years. I mean, we've made a big strides this year, but hopefully in the future just gets more and more on the pest control side of things, just because it's just so much more predictable, and like, you don't have to hire so many guys in the summer.
Like I said, we bought 800 or 300,000, turned it 800,000, has to be serviced in 6 months. That's just a lot of service. Just like for now, we building the pest control around it, which has been a really great thing. You guys are obviously doing really, really well. But I feel like, again, Sully and I were just talking about this yesterday, the day before. Like, you guys are in your second and third year, and look at where you guys are already servicing a month, already servicing a year, which is, to be honest with you, which is you guys are already in the top, 10% of all companies in the industry, which is crazy. Right? You guys have been doing it for 2 years. And like I told Sully, imagine what 5 more years can look like. Just 5 more years. You guys will be 20, 28 years old, and it's going to be crazy. And I said this 5 years ago when we first started this company.
Yeah.
Right.
Year 6, and look what we've pulled off. Now imagine what it's going to look like for you guys in 5 years, which is crazy to think.
Yeah, it's exciting.
What would be a big takeaway for you for this year?
I would say my biggest takeaway, one of them for me, was having a team this large, like to take myself off the doors and just build everybody else around, build my job around our door-to-door team and just be like their lifeline. I mean, I drive people every single day and I'm with the door-to-door guys. Ben is a lot too. Like, I'm not taking anything away from Ben, but we're with the door-to-door team all the time. And so when I took myself off the doors, it allowed me to really help coach and be one-on-one with every single rep and make sure that like everybody is getting the training and the experience and the areas and like the one-on-one contact that they need, where they wouldn't have gotten that at a lot of other companies, and they wouldn't have got it in either. Even last year, me and Ben were some of the main door knockers at our branch. And so being able to take a step back and let the new guys take on more of that responsibility, I feel like that really helped me and Ben. And it made their experience of the new guys a lot better too. Less driving for them, less dropping people off when me and Ben are doing it, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Ben, what were you going to school for?
Forestry and minor in business. Yep.
My major was ag and food business management, and then I did a minor in entrepreneurial management.
Cool. I love that part. That's entrepreneurial management, right? How much more have you learned in the last 2 years than you did at school?
I mean, it's not even like close, I would say.
I just got a phone call today. Crazy enough, I have 4 discovery calls this week for franchises alone. And I was just talking to a guy and walking through. I'm like, basically, you're going to get an MBA in the next 5 years in business.
It's a good point.
That's just what it is, Like, you're going to learn a lot, and we talk a lot. We work hard. We have a lot of fun. We travel together. But again, you're going to learn a lot, and it's something that school can't teach you. Knocking doors can't teach you. There's so much to other sides of the business that you're going to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's challenging. It can be hectic. It can be stressful. But again, it's like looking back on it, like even if you guys look back on last year and like, okay, it was hard. But looking back on it like now, was it really that hard?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a different light when you look back on it, for sure.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that was some shit that we went through, but it's like, okay, now we got through it, got through the rough patches, but it could have still been way worse.
For
For sure.
And having some employees come back versus starting from zero, it makes like the world a difference. I felt like
You find the good people, you take care of them, give them a great opportunity. They're making good money, like they come back the second year again. Now you're just like your second year of sales, right? It's so much easier. Just there's like learning curve is gone. They get back to work. Now you guys have pest control, obviously, to work year round, which is great. So a lot of things are definitely changing over there. Cool. Well, again, I just wanted to kind of just give you guys an update. Never had you guys on the show. Well, I got one more question. How's your guys' relationship been?
Ooh, I would say we're pretty close. I mean,
Yeah.
we butt heads here and there, but I would say we agree on pretty much everything as far as like business decisions go. I would say we don't really hang out as much as we used to, just because we're always in contact with, like, just working together. I guess we're not like having fun all the time.
Partnerships in general, right? Like, again, you're gonna agree, you're gonna disagree. You gotta have hard decisions. You know what I mean? But for the most part, because it was like, oh, partnerships are so hard. It's like, yeah, they can be, and I'm not saying that everyone needs to have a partner, but you find some great partners, it makes your life so much easier. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And then, question that I get a lot is like, how much autonomy do I give my guys? Like, I try to give them full time, let them run exactly what they want to do. Like, it's their branch. Of course, I'll step in if they need help. I'll help them solve problems. But again, I want to give them full autonomy, because at the end of the day, if I said, hey, like, I'm going to run this branch and I have to do everything for you, like, you guys are entrepreneurs or intrapreneurs, right? Like, you just, like, if I said that, if I gave you guys a strict schedule you guys had to follow, and I told you guys everything to do, you just say, hey, Jonas, get fucked. Like, you guys are entrepreneurs of the day. You guys want to go run your thing. And of course, we have guidelines that we follow and certain things that we follow. But for the most part, you guys run your branch the way you guys want to run it. Like, if I stepped on your toes all the time, like, you guys wouldn't feel like you own the business at all.
No. Yeah, you're right there. For sure. And we keep ourselves to a high standard. So we're both very motivated people. So,
and if you guys weren't, you guys probably wouldn't be here.
Exactly. Yeah.
You guys come a long way from where you started. You guys have two totally different roles when you first started too. You guys were growing a massive branch over there. But it's just cool to see where you guys have come in such a short time, and to have you guys on the podcast is super cool, because I don't get to interview my guys all the time, and people, like, they see it on YouTube or whatever, and they know we have branches, but they don't see the partners, that I don't talk to them a lot. And so, like, giving them an inside look of what we're working on and like what our relationship's like it's cool for probably everyone to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Well, again, proud of you guys. You guys are killing it. Everything's, obviously I'm super happy with what you guys have done. Pest Badger Hole it's been a rocket ship, which has been cool. But I couldn't do it without you guys, so I appreciate you guys for everything you do over there, and just for being on here today.
Yeah, thanks for having us, and excited to see what we do in the next few years.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. All right, boys, talk to you soon.
Cool.
Talk to you later. Thanks so much, Jonas. See ya.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to another episode of Pest Control Millionaire. We don't charge any money for the show, but the podcast isn't free. Please like and subscribe and give us a 5-star review in your favorite podcast app. This makes a huge difference for us. If you have any specific questions about your business or your personal life that you'd like answered by me or any of my podcast guests, please send an email to info@pestcontrolmillionaire.com. And if you want to get in touch with me about our marketing class, we do a live version every Thursday night. Check out our website at pestcontrolmillionaires.com. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys in the next one.